Ooh boy. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. My live kept giving me an error, so I don't know what that's about, but I got it to work, so that's all that matters. All right, guys. So, we're doing our little up down temperature thing in Texas this week to where we're doing highs of 60s, highs of 80s, highs of 60s, highs of 80s. So, my throat is a little bit raspy, but maybe that gives me a little demure in my speaking. Anyways, so I had sent out a message on Monday talking about your desires, your future self. So, and I apologize. My dog is very loud going up and down the stairs since we got wood stairs. Anyways, so desires. When it comes to desires, if you have like that big hairy goal, like that you know in your heart of hearts that is something that you are meant to have, something that you're meant to achieve, something that you know that you want to have in your life. Like for me, I know in my heart of hearts that I am meant to help people, that I am meant to allow them to break through traumas, that I'm meant to uncover their blocks so that they can release them for once and for all. I also know that I'm meant to live in North Carolina, in the woods, in the trees around me, in nature, and also being close to the beach because that's something I've always kind of, it tickled my fancy. It was always something that called to me. And I also knew that I wanted to do retreats. And so ultimately, the goal on moving out to North Carolina is to get some land so I can do retreats on my own land. So these are all desires. These are desires that I have wanted for a long time, that have always really excited me. And like I knew like inside that it was just something that was going to happen eventually. And it was always my line of sight with my goal. Like it was my goal to be able to go anywhere, travel the world, do my business from wherever I wanted, take my babies with me, have them experience the world as well, and also really spend that quality time with me and my husband, to where I'm not feeling like I'm, having to work for somebody else for 40 hours a week and really, you know, crushing my soul, like that's kind of what the 9 to 5 work feels like to me. Um, so I always knew that. I always knew that that was part of my desires. That was something that I really, really wanted. So it's like a deep yearning, and it it's something that like it feels like it's always been, maybe like sanctioned, maybe within the fibers of my being, like something that I was meant to teach. I was meant to heal others. Like I was meant to do this. So uh the theory that I had come across was that perhaps that this desire is not just something that you made up off the top of your head. Perhaps this is something that you've already achieved in a future timeline in your future self. So when we talk about quantum physics, quantum realms, you're talking about timelines where you do get something, timelines where you achieve something, timelines where you don't, timelines where you're playing the victim, timelines where you're the aggressor. Like there's different timelines that run at the same exact time, and then there's timelines where it's you in the future, it's you in the past, it's alternate realities, different you know results or whatever. So these are all theories that perhaps the reason that you have a desire is because it was implanted in your head, in your subconscious, from your future self, or it's something that was woven into your cells, like a cellular memory. There's a study that's out there that your cellular memory can go as many as 14 generations. So what they did is what's called the cherry blossom study, and it's not the best study. I will will just say that, but they took a mouse, they sprayed cherry blossom spray so that the mouse would smell it, and then every time the mouse would smell it, they would shock the mouse. So then after that, of course, anytime they would spray it, the mouse would anticipate being shocked. So what they did is they bred the mouse. The mouse had babies. They would spray the spray. The baby would react the same way. Go on another generation. That mouse has babies. They spray the spray. That baby also, reacts the same way. So that goes on for 14 generations. So there is science behind your cellular memory in like keeping traumatic events inside the cellular, membranes. Oh, my cat's gonna join me now too. Keeping the traumas, the hurts, the energies, the negative emotions inside of that cellular membrane, and passing it on to generation. So that even presupposes is that even some of the blocks that you have, some of the emotions that you carry, some of the behaviors, the way that you do the things that you do, could be from a past trauma that was generational. If you believe in past lives, it could be from past life. These are things that even you can experience in the womb and carry on into your adult life. So why wouldn't it be in the same aspect, your future self coming back to give you little seeds, little implants of desires, so that you crave the things that you are actually achieving in that future life. You have these fantasies, or even like visions. Some people get visions, or when you're sleeping, like you see things, and that could absolutely be echoes from a future timeline where you're already achieving that. So let's do an exercise. So what I'll have you do is, if it is safe to do so, I'll have you just get into a comfortable position, close your eyes down, and just take a few deep breaths in into your belly, and then relaxing, letting go. Just really coming down into your body, feeling how your top of your head feels, feeling how your forehead feels and your jaw. Start to realize how your shoulders feel. Are they tense, or can you relax them a little bit more? How does your chest feel and your stomach? Just sending that relaxation down from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. And then we'll do a few grounding breaths. So on the first round, we are going to ground into the center of the earth. And we'll do a 4-count breath. Be a 4-count inhale, 4-count hold, 4-count exhale, 4-count hold. And on the second series, we'll ground into the cosmos, into source, into the universe, into God, however you want to call it. So go ahead and take a deep breath in, imagining that the soles of your feet are opening like doors. And then hold, shooting those grounding cords down from the bottom of your feet all the way to the center of the earth. And then exhale, allowing your grounding cord to ground into the core of the earth, whether it be by light, by roots, by chain. And then hold, allowing the energy from Mother Earth to run up through the center of the earth into the bottoms of your feet, all the way up to your root chakra at the base of your spine. And then taking some reset breaths. And then take another deep breath in, imagining that the crown of your head, the top of your head, is opening like a door. And then hold, allowing the grounding or the cord from your top of your head go into the cosmos, into the universe, connecting to source. And exhale, allowing the energy from source to run down through the universe into the top of your head. And exhale, allowing that energy to run through source, through the top of your head, through every single cell of your body, and down to the root chakra where it mixes and melds with the energy of the earth. And then start to take some reset breaths. And now I want you to imagine that you're standing in front of a mirror, a full-length mirror. And in this mirror, you see your future self, your higher self, the self that has achieved all of your goals, the self that has all of their dreams met. And I want you to notice some things about them. I want you to notice their face. Notice their eyes. Are they crinkled in a happy smile? Smiling with their eyes, smiling with their mouth. Are they stoic? How are they dressed? How are they standing? How do they look? And then notice, what they're wearing. Like, notice if they have a different kind of clothes on than you would normally wear. Notice if they are in business attire. Notice if they're in spiritual attire. Notice what kind of jewelry. And then as you start to notice all the things about them, you see a smile come over their face and they start to walk through that mirror, walk outside of the mirror so that they're standing right in front of you. Maybe even hovering a little bit. So as you notice them hovering, they start to come closer and closer, and eventually you see that they are starting to meld into you, meld into your body that you are right now, melding into you. Knowing that they are you and you are them. And eventually your goals, your dreams that they have achieved, that will be you in a future time. So now noticing what you notice, allow a smile to come on your face. When you're ready, just open your eyes. And yes, I changed backgrounds on you. If you did have your eyes closed, you did not notice that this was happening. But since the kids are out of school, they decided to come down and start making noise. So rather than having, some sort of game going on in the background of our meditation, I decided to move. So now that you have imagined your future version of yourself, living the life you've always envisioned, and that you have integrated your future self, knowing that this is you and you are them, and eventually you will get that happy, successful, fulfilled, radiating inner joy that comes with aligning with your true purpose. Now, I want you to imagine that this future self is reaching back through time. It's implanting those desires into your subconscious mind, like little seeds that grow, that sprout and blossom, that those little whispers of, which actions you should take. So again, this is all within the quantum physics realm, but it does sound a little bit like science fiction. Like, it's a concept that has been in movies and shows before. It's the concept of multiple timelines and different interconnected consciousness. But it is gaining traction. It's gaining traction in the collective, in the public. People are starting to become more open to this and aware. So it's a mixture of that quantum physics and spirituality, and it's starting to really meld together. And what's really funny too is I've noticed, and this is just something I've noticed, is that people that are very techy, that are in those like computer science, engineering type fields, they're starting to get more in touch with their spirituality. And those are the kind of people, to me, that watch the kind of sci-fi shows. So it's almost like, they've been open to this, and as they're coming to me, as they're coming to my classes and things, they're getting these amazing releases because their body craves this kind of release. Their body craves. Perhaps they've been like go go go, like constantly, immersed in the technical field, and they're just not giving themselves that rest. So it's like your body, when you're in this constant state of motion, it really does crave that rest and release and that relaxation. So they tend to go into trance a lot faster. They tend to get amazing releases. That doesn't presuppose or mean to say that some people that aren't in the tech industry are going to get the same kind of things. It's just something that I've noticed. Like, it's big. It's almost profound, So when you take on this mindset that your desires, they're not just something that you made up. It's not just a wish. I wish I had more money. I wish I had this, whatever. But when you lock it into your consciousness and your subconscious, that perhaps this is a memory from the future, that perhaps your future self is guiding you, that perhaps these whispers are nudging you towards this path that would lead to your greatest fulfillment, that there's a reason that you're getting these little downloads of information. This is incredibly empowering. This mindset shift, it suggests that your dreams are not just fantasies, but they're actual, like, visions, future visions, glimpses into a reality that is already yours. When you do future casting and you do goals in the future and setting it into the timeline, which is some of the things that I'll do with my clients, is we lock a specific goal into a specific date into your timeline, so that your subconscious mind, it rearranges all of the events and all of the happenings and all of the things up until that specific date, so that you do achieve it. It's basically another layer saying that you have already achieved it. It's when we're future casting, we're acting as if we have already achieved this thing, and we're setting our goals out into the universe as if we've already achieved it. So it, to me, is, a little bit of confirmation. It's takes some of the weight off my shoulders when I think about it that way, because all of us that are scared to jump into a new reality, jump into a different, comfort. We're trying to get outside of our comfort zones. We're trying to get into, um, a business. A business is probably one of the number one things that feels very unsafe to our subconscious mind, when we were conditioned to be these little worker bees, these 9 to 5 workers that, you're always underneath somebody else's thumb. And maybe the income isn't guaranteed, but when you know that you have achieved it in the future, it takes a little bit of that pressure off. It's telling you this is the person that you're meant to be. So how do you tap into this future wisdom and align with your design self? To start paying attention to the messages that you're receiving, to those desires, those implantations, those whispers. Start writing them down. Start getting your conscious mind on board with the subconscious realities. When you write it down, you're bringing both, minds, your two brain, your subconscious and your unconscious mind, onto the same page, so that they're in alignment with each other. So the persistent yearnings, the persistent things that are a goal for you, that keep coming up, that keep whispering in your heart, write them down. When you start to get evidence that this is something that you're meant to do, like, maybe somebody reaches out because they want your services, or somebody reaches out because they want to collaborate, or you're trying to leave your 9 to 5 and you have like a really shitty day. So this is like confirmation that you're not supposed to be doing that you're supposed to be in this other timeline. So embrace those desires as guidance from your future self. Trust that they're not random wins. Trust that they are signs, messages pointing you towards your true path. And whatever you can do, a step into the right direction, a small step, whether, just even like small actions, like every small step is a direction that is getting you into momentum. It's becoming 1% better than you were yesterday is always a forward movement. So as you start to step into that, you create ripple effects, and that aligns you with the timeline where those desires do become reality. So think of that as a possibility. Believe in your potential. Trust in yourself. Trust that, this is part of the unfolding of your journey. Embrace the adventure. And remember, the desires, they're not just dreams. So really, truly embody that. So I hope you guys appreciated this little bit of a longer coaching session today on that. And I will say, I did send out an email, so if you're not on my email list, you might not have gotten it, but you should see it somewhere in the group, like in the next day or two. But I am doing a beta group, so we're going to be doing group coaching. So this is something I don't normally do. I normally work one-on-one with people so that we can get down to the deeper roots of the roots of why you do things, the roots of the roots of the roots. So we get down to the core roots of whatever emotion that you're holding on to, maybe the way that you're dictating life, your behaviors and your actions. So I'm shifting this for a Black Friday deal, because And everybody is ready to jump into one-on-one work. I understand that not everybody is able to afford it to either, which you know, that's another mindset shift in and of itself. But um, with the group that I'm doing, this is more of like a Black Friday promotion, but since it's a beta group, this is essentially the lowest that I'm ever going to do this price wise. So it's going to be a pod starting in December, and we're going to do weekly coachings, weekly energy releases, weekly subconscious work, and then you will get one-on-one session with me to where we look at the deep root of maybe why you're doing what you're doing. So this is I'll drop the link in the comments, but again, the lowest price I'm ever going to do this because it's a beta group. So you're getting in on the ground floor. You're getting to experience it before anybody else gets to experience it. So you get to be my little founders. And yeah, it's another shift, another direction that I get to go because, you know, the more people that I can help at one time, the better to me. Because as we start to shift the collective and the consciousness and the awareness, that more people get what they want, which is ultimately what I want. So I'll drop that in the comments down here, and I hope to see some of you guys in the group, and I will definitely see you all next Wednesday. Yes, I will see you next Wednesday. All right, perfect. Love you guys. Have an amazing week. And happy Thanksgiving.